What's up, guys? Sean Dubs here. I just got some gas. I am on my way to the doctor, going to the dermatologist. Got a couple things going on. Nothing alarming, don't worry. But I have a family history of skin cancer, so I have to take like everything seriously and always get checked out. And I haven't been in a while, which is stupid. So it is what it is. But I'm on my way, and I figured we'd talk about leases on the way. My appointment's at 11:20, and the ETA right now is 11:14, so we might be implementing some of what I've taught in my other videos. I'm kind of cutting a little close here. What can I say? Life happens sometimes, man. This is real world emerging gameplay, driving footage content. I love giving you guys just like real content. I was like, I could record this like later, but I was like, this is so much more fun doing it this way. So this is gonna be some real world driving, implementing my techniques. Anyway, I want to talk about leases, okay? The reason why I want to talk about leases is because I'm always trying to give you guys good information, and when it comes to leases, this is another one of those areas where there's just like a lot of bad information out there. Now, before I even talk about the leases, oh, come on. Of course, the slow. Oh, okay, we're going now? We're going into 300? Okay. Before we even talk about the leases, oh, police ahead? I've never seen the GPS do that. Oh, they got somebody else. Oh, this is already starting off funny. The police is at Burger King. What's happening up there? I never get those police alerts. I use Google. Oh, bro didn't watch the videos. Bro is cooked. Bro is cooked. Damn, yo, you get pulled over in the Burger King. Bro's just trying to get lunch. Nah, you cooked. Bro is cooked. Sorry. I can't wait for the comment. Why are you saying cook so much? Oh, there's another police on the left. Dude. Is he gonna swing around after me, or is he going over there? Oh no. I'm not gonna make my appointment. Just kidding. That's a that's a perfect example of what do they say? Main character energy. Nobody's paying attention to me right now. Okay, back to the leases. It's emerging, man. What can I say? I should make this clear more maybe in my videos. Bro, when I give you a piece of advice, or I try to just share my experience, of course, there's always going to be exceptions to the rule, right? There is no one size fits all for really anything in life. Like when we talked in the last video about why you should pay cash versus financing, I was explaining that from the position of somebody who's trying to get ahead financially, right? Like I'm trying to invest. That's my main goal. And so paying cash for a car doesn't make any sense. I want to finance the car, okay? Because I want cash flow. I want more cash on hand to put in the market. But some people might not care about that, you know? And so that advice is not useful for them. That experience is not useful for them. So just understand, when I explain this, I'm going to explain to you why I lease, why I think leasing is good. It's just in case you haven't considered these things. You don't have to, you don't have to watch this and be like, oh, damn, Sean says I must lease the car. No. Some of you are going to watch this and be like, yeah, leasing is not for me. But some of you, I hope, and the goal is that you'll watch this and be like, I never really considered a lease. And when you say those things, that makes sense to me. So maybe a lease works for me. We have shaved off 1 minute so far. Somehow. I don't know how. We haven't really done anything yet. Oh, bro, the 3 coach buses? Oh, no. Dude, I might be cooked. This is what you get for not being on time. I should wait, but, gotta go. Oh, no, we got the construction zone. We're so cooked. All right, leases. Now, first, I will talk about at the end who a lease is for and not for, because I feel like I have a good handle on that. But I'm going to tell you why I lease. These are in no particular order. So now, no particular order, but this is like a top one for me. I don't know if you've noticed, but we are in the transition to electric cars, okay? The electric cars are taking over. They're getting better every year. They're becoming a little more affordable every year. There's just no way around it, okay? There's just no way around it. The electric cars are going to quickly become the majority. And remember, most people just want an A to B car. They don't really care. We're fast approaching the point where it's not going to make any financial sense to buy a gas car, because you'll be able to get like a decent electric car for 20, 30K, like new, you know, and the range will be good, and it costs way less to put gas. Whoops. I don't know, this bus tripped me up. I have to get off, I believe. Oh, 1.2 miles. Sorry guys, we got boogie today, so the commentary could be marginally scuffed, but it's only scuffed because we're trying to boogie. Get around these stupid buses. They're not stupid, they're driving normal. I'm the one in the rush. Head on a swivel. What we got up here? Nothing. The electric cars are coming, and it's cheaper to just charge the car than put gas in the car, like in a lot of places already. So we're approaching the point where it's just not really going to make any financial sense to get a gas car. The future is very uncertain, okay? And I'm not really sure, 100% sure what's going to happen when the majority of people are buying electric cars. A lot of cars have been killed off recently. Like, major cars are now gone because they're going to do the electric version. Like, the Maxima is gone, the Legacy is gone. Like, a lot of cars are getting eliminated. Now, they're going to come back and be exactly the same thing. They're just going to be the electric version. Like, the Legacy's gone, the Maxima's gone, but when they bring back the electric equivalent, it's going to be a Maxima. The reason they're getting rid of the name is because they just don't want to deal with the branding issues. So it's like they have the electric, they can't just have the electric Maxima and then it's like some older person comes in to get, you know, their annual Legacy or Maxima, and they're like, well, it's electric now. They'll be like, but what? They're just going to get upset. They don't want to deal with that. So you got to give it a whole new brand, even though it's essentially the same thing. But the electric cars are coming, and it's unpredictable how fast, you know, the majority of new car purchases are going to be electric, and how fast it's going to take over. It's happening fast already, but some of the cars are getting delayed, you know, like all the Teslas, they come out way later than they say they will, you know. So it's unpredictable, and I like to lease because that way I'm only into the car for 3 years max. So once the electric cars take over, I can just give the car back. And that's the great thing about a lease. You can just give the car back, right? The thing with leases, let's talk about some of the myths about leases. Actually, I probably should have talked about that first. Oh, bro, we're stuck behind the truck. This is so cooked. This is so cooked. I just shaved a minute off. I think I can pass up here. My bad. We should have talked about the misconception. I mean, there's only really one misconception, so let's just talk about it fast. People will say, oh, you're throwing your money away, bro, when you lease. Bro, you're throwing your money away. That's not how a lease works. As long as you don't get scammed on the deal, because you can negotiate your lease. If you get a proper lease, you are literally just paying for the depreciation on the car. That's it. So you're not losing anything. If you had bought the car new, you'd be out the same amount. The car is going to depreciate the same amount regardless. With the lease, the way the lease works is you're just paying the depreciation. At the end, you can buy the car out if you want or not. So that's the first thing. You're not throwing money away. You're renting. You're renting at the rate at which the car depreciates. So you're not losing anything. All cars depreciate. So it's like the best thing in the world. You just pay the depreciation. Number two, and this is important, not everybody is going to find this valuable, but I find this to be extremely valuable, and you might find it to be valuable too. Maybe this isn't something you haven't considered, and if you're relatively new to cars, this is something that could be very valuable for you. A lease costs a little bit more than if you had just bought the car new. That is true. But what do you get for that? Oh man, this thing's going to drop rocks. I gotta be careful. What are you getting for that increased price and cost you're paying? Usually it's only about like $2,000, honestly, versus buying new. For that slightly more amount of money, you get an option, a very valuable option. The option to purchase the car at the end of the lease or give the car back. That is extremely valuable. Literally, leases like options contracts for cars. Not exactly an apples to apples comparison, but it is literally an options contract. There's a ton of value in that, especially, and this will actually flows good because it links to what I'm saying about electric cars. There's a lot of value for me. 3 years from now, when I get a new lease, I have the option to give the car back or not. So if I lease something and now the electric cars pop off, for example, it doesn't even have to just be that. If the electric cars start taking over and they come out with some awesome new electric car, I can just exercise my option in the lease to just give it back. And now I can get the electric car. If the car happens to lose an unusual amount of value, more value than the bank expected, and if I had kept the car, I'd be super upside down on it. Doesn't matter, I just give the car back. The lease is fixed. You understand? There's a lot of value in that. What happens if I get a dud car and it's just like, there's something wrong with the car, they fix it, but like they have to rebuild the engine? I talked about this in another video. I had a Camaro and the engine blew on it and they rebuilt it. They did a good job, actually. I don't know if I'm gonna be able to pass, bro. No, it's not looking good. I'm just gonna stop. I hate when the trucks do this, bro. Well, at least he's going to 65, so this is done. That car I financed, so I was stuck with it. The only way to get out of the car was to trade it. If I had leased it, okay, the engine blew, I've been like, well, this one's not good. Here you go, take it back. That's the beauty of the lease. They have to take it back contractually. At the end of the lease, there is no the dealer, the manufacturer, whatever. They can't be like, you know what, we don't want that car. Nah, bro, you take it back. Why are you braking, bro? Please tell me he's like stopping. What is this? Oh, they're gonna be horse and buggy. I just watched the car. No, always kicking up Bronx. What is this? Oh, this is the most scuff ride so far. At the end, that option is so valuable. Let me give you an example. I also leased, 2 years ago now, I leased a 2023 Subaru Legacy. I'll make some videos on that too. I got a really good deal on it. The interest rate was a little low compared to market. Everything on the car is great, and the residual, the price that I can buy the car out at the end of the lease, happens to be great. I've been looking at the value of those cars. It looks like I will be able to buy that car out and it will be worth more than the buyout. The buyout is like 18K. I might have to. We gotta go, bro. Sorry. I will be able to buy that car out for about 18K. And based off what I've seen so far, because it's a limited, it's probably going to be worth in the low 20s. Now, even then, I still have other plans for the car. I'm probably just going to give it to a family member, actually. I'm going to let them buy it out at the 18K so they can get a really nice, very lightly used car, because I take great care of my cars. They're going to get an awesome car for probably about 3-4K under the market price. Because I don't need to make profit off family, you know, and it makes no difference to me. Like, I'm just going to give the car back. I also don't need the car. I need something bigger because we have a baby. My wife and I are probably going to have another one, so I need something bigger regardless. So regardless, I need to get rid of the car, and I don't want to deal with trying to like make $2,000, $3,000 of profit trying to like sell this thing privately. It would be very hard to sell regardless. But you see what I'm saying with the lease? That is a somewhat rare case, by the way, that you lease the car and it becomes, and you can actually make a profit. But it's just an example of the value of that option. I love having that option. That option is so valuable to me as a car enthusiast. I really love this car. I like the WRX. I like it a lot more, the VB WRX. Oh, look at this old car. Yo, we're getting mad stuff on this. That's so cool. What is that? Is that a model? I don't know old cars like that. Is that a Model T? Probably not. I really like this car. As of right now, I feel like I'll probably want to keep it. Under normal circumstances, I probably would not keep this car. And the reason is just because, like, I like it, but it was a compromise car for me. So under normal circumstances, I wouldn't keep it. But this is like the last all-wheel drive manual transmission sedan performance sedan you can buy in the entire United States. There's literally nothing else. So it's like, normally I would just give this up and maybe I'll just get the next generation. But the next generation, Subaru is, kind of hinting that it's going to be electric. So I don't know if I want an electric WRX. Maybe I do. Maybe it's awesome. I have the option to give this back and get it. If the next gen is like an electric or a hybrid, I have the option to get it if I want it, because I leased this. The option has value. But the reason I might keep this is because, again, I like the stick. I prefer the stick. This to me is like the last of its kind in many ways. And so I'm strongly considering keeping it. I've returned every other lease car. So again, that option has value. How are you going to tell me I'm throwing my money away leasing this when I have no idea if I want the next generation WRX? There might be another car I want. As a car enthusiast, I do like to just kind of have cars for about 3 years. Like 3 years is like good. I start to get bored of cars. I have this problem where I can find like all the faults in a car. I can find all the great things about the car, but I always find the faults. And usually I find like some kind of fatal flaw with the car and it kind of like ruins it for me. Like I'll make a video on it soon about the Legacy. I found the fatal flaw in that car pretty fast. After about, 6 months, I was just like, you know what? This is a fatal flaw in this car. Like the car's fine. I'm happy, to have another new car, but I'm like, this thing, I'm done with this. I'll get something else. I like to try different cars. I just love cars. I love driving, so I like to experience multiple cars. And a lease allows you to get a new car every 3 years and enjoy it. It's a lot of fun, So for me personally, that option is super valuable because of the uncertain future. The future is just so uncertain, especially with the electric cars. I can easily imagine, so I have this car for 2 more years, right? I can imagine in the next 2 years they announce some kind of sick car. Like, I don't know if this will come out in the next 2 years. My guess is probably not, but it's gonna come at some point. They're gonna have some kind of like electric Camaro or Mustang. It's gonna be 30 to 40K. It's gonna get like acceptable range. Maybe it'll get like 350 miles on a charge, maybe even 400. The range is only gonna go up. The tech is already there. The top of the line Teslas are beasts. They show us what is possible. Incredibly fast vehicles, good range, right? It's just a matter of time before the price comes down on the tech. That's always what happens. So I could imagine some kind of Camaro that does like 350, 400 miles on the charge. It charges fast. It looks insane. It's like the most insane looking Camaro they've ever made. It'll have ridiculous performance, It'll do 0 to 60 in like 2.5 seconds. Something crazy. Quarter mile in like 11, 10.5, something like that. It'll be like the fastest Camaro ever. So it'll be like, damn. And then it won't be like a Tesla. Hopefully, maybe they'll screw this up. Maybe instead of just it being like a steering wheel and a touchscreen, maybe they have some more buttons and they have some gimmicks. The gimmicks will probably be like kind of stupid, but like car enthusiasts, you'll still look at it and you'll be like, yeah, it might be kind of cool. For example, maybe you can start the car just by getting in and pressing a button, or like it'll have some cool like futuristic looking key and you stick it in like, some of the Lambos or some of the Aston Martins, like, you stick it in the dash somewhere and you like and then you power on and it's like it makes some kind of corny noise. It'll be corny as shit, but it will still be like, you'll still look at it and be like, that's kind of cool. I think that might be neat. It might have some other little silly features, right? Maybe it'll have some kind of manual mode. They can simulate it with the transmission, make it feel like it's like a stick. You get what I'm saying, right? Like, I want to have a stick for as long as possible, but even I'm like, I could see myself wanting to get something like that. It's like, yeah, I won't have the stick anymore, but this will be the fastest car I've ever owned by like a lot. Like this thing will be so fast. And I've never had an electric car. I'm not completely against electric cars. I prefer to have the stick, but I can definitely see myself enjoying an electric car. And like I'm saying too, like I like to lease cars and get something new. So I would look at it as like, okay, like I'm gonna try out an electric car, and then if I don't like it, it's a lease. I'll just give it back, right? You know what I'm saying? This car's going pretty slow. Why are you braking? I don't understand why this person was braking. I really don't. But that's the beauty of the lease. I think when you're younger, listen, this is just facts. When you're younger, your life is likely to change. Your priorities are going to change. So it's like the car you want is going to change. Even for me, like I have like gone to slightly more pedestrian vehicles. So now I'm like 4 doors. Like, you know, I want something a little slower. Like I don't care as much about the performance. But even now I'm like, damn, I need a minivan. You know, life happens. I'm so glad I leased my Legacy. I'm so glad I leased this because I'll be real, like you don't realize how big the car seats are for babies until you put it in the car. Like you can look up online and see the dimensions, and you look up on Reddit and you see, oh yeah, it'll fit, no problem. And then I put the car seat in the Legacy. I'm like, damn, this thing doesn't really fit. This just barely fits. Now I see why everybody's got an SUV or a minivan. Damn, I need a minivan. I thought the Legacy would work for 2 car seats. Nah, bro, it doesn't really work. It doesn't really work. You need something bigger. If you can, you know. And so I'm like, good. Glad we leased this. This is going back. We need a bigger car. No problem. Now, some of you are like, yeah, but you're paying extra for that. Here's the thing. Here's one of the most important things I've learned with cars. The more valuable the car is, the harder it is to get out without taking a bath. This is just facts. So if I had bought this car and I had decided, you know what, I don't want it anymore, now you got to try and trade it in. Yeah, you look up the blue book. Oh, it's worth $25K used. You're not getting $25K. You're not. You're going to have to trade it in at the dealer. It's the only way to get rid of the car. Unless somebody can pay cash for your car, you're never going to be able to get rid of it. You're just not going to be able to get rid of it. And I'll tell you why. Most people don't pay cash for their cars. The higher up you go, people need financing. So let's say I had this for 3 years. I wanted to get rid of it. I wanted to get, let's say the blue book was $25,000. The MSRP was $35,000. I want to get my $25,000. So I put it up for sale, private. For someone to buy it, most people need to finance. So they're going to need to call to buy this car. They would have to first find it and be like, I want this exact car. And then they got to go to their bank or a bank and convince them to get a private auto loan. And sometimes the bank will reject you. You might have to go to multiple banks. Sometimes it can be tricky. Even if you have decent credit or good credit. Less likely if you have good credit. So most people are going to need to finance, and they're not going to want to deal with doing a private loan on the auto loan. Like people just aren't going to do that. Not when, if I put this up for sale, if I bought this and put this up for sale in 3 years, guess what will also be true? There'll be tons of them at the dealer. The dealer will have plenty of them. They can just go to the dealer. People take the path of least resistance. It's like they can deal with trying to get the loan, and they got to deal with me, right? And we have to arrange a time when they're not going to do that. When they can just go to the dealer and they can just get the financing at the dealer. The dealer will have them in and out 3 hours, 4 hours, max. Also important, this potential buyer, they probably have a car they need to get rid of. So they come to me, even if they want to buy the car, they still have to get rid of their car. I'm not buying your car. I hate when people speed up when I go to pass them. Like, why you're driving slow and I'm going around you? Why you gotta speed up? They sped up. So unnecessary. Look at this. Now they're like on my tip. I hate people. You guys suck. People who drive like that. Like, bro, let me do my pass. I'm going. Like, what's the So think about that buyer. They gotta dump their car. So what do they got? I'm not buying your car. You gotta sell it. And they're in the same boat as me because they're like, well, I gotta sell my car. It doesn't work. But if they go to the dealer's like, hey, you trade it in right now. We'll take it. I'm gonna lowball you, but we'll take it. They're going to the dealer. The issue is that it is very easy to get into a car. It's hard to get out. Even on the lower end, let's say a sub $10,000 car, unless it is a particularly like hot car, Like if you have a good condition Porsche that happened to be like old and under 10K, I don't know what that would be, then yeah, you could probably sell it pretty fast. Anything other than that, it's gonna take a long time to sell it, even under 10K. You can sell it fast if you price it really low, and even then you're gonna have to deal with lowballs. You could price the car well under what all the other cars are priced. You'll still get dudes calling you, yo bro, I'll give you like half cash, yo, what's up? You're still gonna have to deal with people wasting your time, and it's unlikely you're gonna sell it. It is extraordinarily rare to be able to sell the car. So one thing I always say is like, bro, if you think you're so good at something, like if you really think you can take a used car and get it sold like relatively quickly and easily, you have some kind of magic ability that all these other experts that own used car dealerships, like, so you're saying you who doesn't sell cars for a living, you think you're better than people who do this for a living? That's like what you're saying, essentially. If you think you're better, then I will fund you. Show me what you know, and I will fund you. Let's do a car dealership. Let's do a used car dealership. If you have the magic sauce, let's do it. Right? If you're really good at selling cars, then dudes, then you should just be selling cars. You'll make crazy money. What do you know that all these other dealers don't know? You see what I'm saying? It's hard to get out of cars. Now, with the lease, you don't have that issue. On this car, after the end of the 3 years, all I've paid is the depreciation, and now I don't have, and now I want out. Let's say I want something different. I'm giving the car back. Just go right by the contract and follow the return procedure. I don't have to deal with getting lowballed on a trade. I don't have to negotiate. No. I'm giving the car back. That's it. It's done. Car goes back. They will come and inspect it. As long as it's okay, that's it. Car's gone. Give them the keys. Goodbye. I don't have to deal with selling a trade. I don't get waxed. I don't lose money on trying to trade it. Because again, most times, if you want out of a car, you're probably going to have to trade it in. That's just the way it is. That has been my experience. I'm sure people leave a comment, bro, I sell all my cars fat in like in a day, bro. What are you talking? Okay, but all right, man. Most people, and this applies to everybody I've seen in my life, you're going to have to trade that thing in. You're either going to have to trade it in or drive it to the point where the wheels are like literally falling off and you just junk it. It's so hard to sell a car privately. Again, you're that bro. Yo, bro, I sell cars yo, call me up. I swear to God, I'll fund you. Let's do it. Let's do a car dealership. I'll do that right now. What do you know? With the lease, you save yourself from the L you take on trading in the car. Because every time you trade in, you take an L. Like there is no trade in where you make money. Like, you know, they're always going to give you less than what the car is worth. Or they won't take it, right? This is like people who are like, oh, I got a good deal at the dealer. I've got an amazing deal. Bro, you're not getting that good of a deal at the dealer. You're never. They're always making money. Like, you're not that 1 in a million time where they like let the car leave at a loss. Like, they go out of business. Come on, stop it. Anytime someone is like, yeah, bro, I scammed the dealer, I got this crazy good deal, I'm like, nah, let me see the paperwork. Something is not right. They worked you over so good that you think you made money and they didn't. Okay. They got you somehow. They got you on the interest. They got you somehow. The best you can hope for from the dealer, by the way, the best thing you can go in there is you do your research on the car and on market rate interest rates. The best thing you can do is just basically get like market rate, or take them up on some special offer that they have, which is usually a scam anyway. You get in there and they're like, oh, well, actually, that's just like on the base model, and we have no base model, so so sorry, the deal's no good. Pay up. The best you can do is just get a fair deal. That's like the best you can get. The option you get with the leasing is so valuable. The electric cars are coming. It's going to save you from those. If you're a car enthusiast, you can try different cars out. If there happens to be something wrong with the car, or you don't want the car, whatever, you can get rid of it. When you're younger, the younger you are, the more life is going to like change, you know? Like we could talk forever on all this. Maybe you move somewhere and you're like, oh, damn, I need all-wheel drive. Shit. I need an all-wheel drive car now. You move for work. You know what I mean? Like, we could talk forever on all the reasons that you would need to swap your car out or something. And I'm telling you, the second you need to get rid of a car, you're gonna probably have to trade it in and you're gonna get waxed. That's just the reality. So with the lease, you save yourself from that. Okay? The next thing, I'm not gonna go too deep into it because this is stuff that you can research on your own. I want to give you stuff that is not just out there. There are tax benefits to leasing, and there's tax benefits to buying new as well. But like, generally speaking, with a business, it's better to lease. Like, generally speaking, you get more tax benefits from leasing. And so that's why I lease. Me personally, if you have a business, leasing is like the way to go. When you work the math out and you factor in the deduction from the lease, it becomes too financially irresistible. It just makes the most sense. You save on your taxes, and so it evens out the cost. My leases basically are even or cheaper than buying like any used car. There's other things too. I like having new cars. Safety is a huge thing to me. Like, a lot of you guys, not a lot of you guys, but I've seen a lot of comments where someone's like, yeah, bro, but I got a deal on this like 1998, Honda on this like 90s Corolla. I'm like, that's all good and stuff, man, but do you see how big these cars are? Like, look at the CRV in front of me. It's a somewhat newer generation. Compare that to the old CRV. Like, this is a tank compared to the old CRV. Dude, especially like 90s and early 2000 cars, they're like tin cans, dude. Cars are only getting safer. Like, this WRX is way safer than the previous generation. People complain, oh, new WRX is heavier. Yeah, bro, but that's gonna potentially save your life. I value my life a lot. That's why another reason I like new cars. I like big, heavy cars. If I'm gonna go used, if I have to go used, I really want it to be like a big car. Nice, safe car. Dude, people can't drive. It's just too dangerous. New cars have all the modern creature comforts. They're not really gonna break down on you if they do. You have the warranty, so it's a fixed cost. I love having a fixed cost. It's important for cash flow. No unexpected surprises. Right? These things I feel like you could figure out on your own, but maybe they are worth mentioning, so I'm mentioning them. You get to have a new car. New cars are fun. Like, I love going and picking up a new car. It's very enjoyable. It really is. I like it. All right. Now, I'm going to talk about who a lease is for and who is not for. We're almost to the thing, so the timing is working perfectly on this. If there's any other reason that I lease that I haven't covered, I'll try to think of it. But I think I've covered it. It really just comes down to, it's the value of that option. I think the future is very uncertain with electric cars. As a car enthusiast, I like to try other cars, and we got pass. All right. So let's talk about who a lease is for and who is not for. I guess it would be easier to talk about who the lease is not for, because it's really not for everyone. That's the thing with leases. So, number one should be obvious. You need to be able to stay under the mileage. Now, you can negotiate higher mileage, but I've never negotiated higher mileage because I've never gone over on a lease, because I've never needed more mileage. So I have not personally tried to negotiate more mileage on a lease. I don't know what happens when you try to. You can, though. You can ask for more mileage. I can't imagine they're going to be like, oh, yeah, sure, bro. Here's an extra 5,000 miles a year. No cost. It's going to cost more. So if you need more mileage and you can negotiate it and it's still a fair price, then I guess it's okay. But most of the leases, in my opinion, they're already right at that price where I'm like, okay, this is okay. If they're going to start tacking on costs, I don't know. I don't know how much they charge. The important thing is you need to be able to stay under the mileage. That's super important. And you need to do an honest calculation on your mileage. It's very easy to screw up, and that's really one of the reasons leases maybe are a little on the fair price. I feel like they're not more expensive because they make a lot of money off of people who lease, and then they go over on the mileage, and they charge them. It can be like 5-10 cents a mile. I feel like if people did not go over on the mileage enough, they would probably increase the cost of the lease. It's kind of like with credit cards, you know? It's like if you just pay everything off, you can actually make money on the rewards. And the reason they do that is because most people don't, so they make money on the interest. So it's like, I think it's like one of those situations, although that's just my own hunch. But you really need to stay under on the mileage. Like if you get the lease and you go way over, I mean, now you're basically locked into the car and you defeated the purpose of leasing. You've lost all the magic of it, because you're probably going to have to just buy the car out at the end so you don't pay the ridiculous fines they're going to charge you. So that's number one. You need to be able to stay under the mileage. Number two, real quick, you need good enough credit to get a fair interest rate. It's a new car, and you don't want to pay a lot on the interest, but that applies to everything, you know. But usually it's probably going to be harder to get a good interest rate on a lease because it's a new car, so it's a larger loan amount and everything, you know. Third thing, you got to keep the car in great shape, because I can tell you, the person they send out to examine the car for the wear and tear and everything, they go over the car like with a fine-tooth comb. Now, I just happen to be someone who keeps their cars like basically mint. I had a Cadillac about 8 years ago, at least one. I brought it back to the dealer. I'm not making this up. I'm just saying this is the type of person I am. We brought the car back, and they came out and looked at it, and they were like, and they looked on the inside, they were like, this is like the nicest lease return we've ever seen, like ever. Like this looks like a brand new car. It's because I detail. I'm gonna make videos on detailing, and I keep my cars really nice. For many years now, I've always lived in a house with like a private driveway, you know, so I don't have to park my car in the street. I don't have to drive that much. When I do drive, I keep my distance from cars so I'm not getting rock chips and stuff. Always watch out, head on a swivel. Every time I go and park my car anywhere, both the cars, all my cars, doesn't really matter. The only thing I didn't care about parking was the Subaru, which a video will be coming up on that soon, if it's not already out. I park far away, like I'm the person who parks really far away from other cars. So I don't get door dings. I don't curb my rims. The rims on this car, well, we got 11,000 miles. They look brand new. No curb rash. I don't curb my wheels, right? So I keep my cars in excellent condition. So when they come out and check them, there ain't nothing to put down. Never have I been dinged for anything. I've returned quite a few leases now. I love watching them. Like look at the car. I'm like, what are you, bro? What are you gonna find? There's nothing. Car's bone stock. I don't modify them. That's another thing. You can't modify. Don't modify. I think I just lost service. That's not good. Fortunately, it looks like I just need to stay on here. I'm in the sticks. Bro, I had to drive 45 minutes to this appointment because that's one of the drawbacks of living in the sticks. The next dermatology appointment that was available near me, it was like next year. I was like, yeah, I'll drive the 45 minutes. Don't modify, you can't modify the car. It's just not, you can't do it. So you got to be able to stay under the mileage and take good condition of the car. You don't need a business for the lease to still make financial sense, in my opinion. But really, you got to stay under the mileage. Okay? Also, you need the money, right? Like, you need to be making enough money to be able to afford a new car. But not everybody is going to be able to fit this criteria, right? Like, if you have to park your car in the street, don't get a lease, man, because they're going to get you. They're going to get you. Oh, dude, it said turn around? What the hell? Oh, shit, bro. This is cooked. I hope this is right. Oh, this is not good. Now I got a really boogie. Are you serious? The GPS, like, broke. Damn, I just lost 3 minutes. Let me see. I got to make left onto Cold Springs Road. SR 109. Now we got a boogie, dude. This is chalk. Yeah, there's no service out here. I'm not joking about the sticks. Okay, we gotta remember Cold Springs Road and 1.4 miles. So yeah, if you can't stand with the mileage and keep the car in good condition, like you gotta do street parking, maybe you gotta bring it to work, and you gotta park in a parking lot that's a little tight. I don't know. Now, they do allow for normal wear and tear. I just don't know like what that is, you know, because I've always kept my cars mint. There's been no wear and tear on my car, like literally like nothing. Like maybe like a little, you know, some like little chips in the front of the bumper, like little, that's normal, right? Maybe like a tiny little scuff from like a tree branch. Like this car has a tiny little scratch from a tree branch. That was a storm came by and just sent shit flying everywhere, and so I got a little scratch. But other than that, the car is mint. So stuff like that is fine, but if somebody like dings your door, they're gonna hit you for that. Like a bad ding or a dent, somebody dents your car, I think they'll probably charge you for that. Okay? So I'm trying to think, what are the other reasons? What are other reasons? I feel like I covered a lot of it. So hold on, let's boogie for a second and I'll think about heel toe. Let's think, is there anything I'm missing? I don't think so. So I guess that covers it. I'm 5 minutes away. I just made up a couple minutes, so I still have to like get in there. I've never been to this place before, so. But yeah, let me know in the comments, what do you guys think about leasing? If you have any other questions about leasing, feel free to ask, and if I miss something, I can let you know. But let's wrap it up. I'm gonna boogie here and get to my appointment on time. And hey, that's all I got for now, so I'll see you guys in the next one.